I swear, man, WWE in 2025 or 2024, both of them put together, has become like, walk down this path with me, lovely wrestling fan. Then you get to the end of the path and you think you're going to the sweet shop and all of a sudden you end up at the grocery store. I mean, essentially, they're the same destination, but they are also massively different. And last night, all of a sudden, well, right now, people are feeling it. We're all pondering to ourselves, is WWE going to do CM Punk versus Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania? Now, gun to my head, no need for that. I'm happy to talk about it. I don't think the WWE is going to do that at WrestleMania. I do think they should do it in 2025, but I've made my predictions elsewhere. I think mostly WWE did this, and it is so damn smart to tell you, oh my gosh, look how many people can win the Royal Rumble, and whenever that person does win it, they have multiple options. Because quite clearly, they are still expecting new fans to be joining, which is why I think they're leaning into this, but also they're executing it in such a good way that even nerds and geeks like you and I, who have been watching for years, well, maybe you're not, you could be smarter than I, fair play to you, but I'm scratching my bald head like I don't know what they're going to do. I'm still convinced that CM Punk is going to win the Rumble. I just think it's the right time. I'm not sure there is anybody else that would be better from a story point of view, and also the fans would like it, so you're essentially ticking all of those boxes. But none of my videos, or maybe one, I said that it could be CM Punk versus Cody Rhodes, but that was not on my radar, that was not in my diary, and it certainly isn't something that I would have guessed with real conviction. But even if you did do that, again, I talked about this on lots of videos. It's why WWE is in a great place. If you did Cody versus Drew at WrestleMania, you could get away with it. It's pretty good. Drew McIntyre on fire right now. Punk versus Cody, massive. Even if you went back to Roman versus Cody, you could sell that as a big thing. We're probably doing Cody versus John Cena. That's just one half of the equation. Now, the Gunther thing is interesting as well, so we'll get to that in just 1 second. But the promo between Cody Rhodes and CM Punk, it just felt like two friends, I suppose. That's what they were getting at, talking to each other. But because it was drowning in reality and it was drowning in wrestling lore, you were able to suspend your disbelief and just let these two storytellers do their magic. Like, I was genuinely impressed, and it's so cool. It's just a terrible word to use, but it is, because there was a time in wrestling. I think you do need baby faces and heels, but I also think people within professional wrestling, the characters, should speak like they're real, and the world they exist within is legitimate. That's the worst thing I've ever put it. But I don't want Brad Pitt in a movie to go, oh, hey, Simon, I'm not really this character I'm playing, I'm Brad Pitt. I'm like, well, I know that, you moron. And I guess it's why the best actors are able to make you forget who they are, because you just buy into the character that they're playing. And when they are talking about their past, and you have Punk saying, bro, it's going to be me that takes that championship off you. And we talked about OVW, and of course we talked about Dusty Rhodes. You have to tick that box if you are going to feud with Cody Rhodes. But it left you going, I understand where each of you are coming from. Like, you could argue that Cody went a bit heelish here. I think that's going way too far. As I said on Ups and Downs, for What Culture, make sure you check that out. Definitely today. That's unhinged today. Has so many dumb jokes. This is our more relaxed chat. That's the performative version, but please check it out today. Again, go to What Culture, subscribe to them, subscribe to me as well. I'd massively appreciate it. But yeah, when Cody sort of has a bit of an attitude or a bit of an edge, like I say, I don't know, man, it just wakes something up within him. But you could understand every single word he was saying. He did chase CM Punk for all of these years. He was always in the number 2 position, and now it's CM Punk who's saying, hey man, I'm going to win the Rumble, and maybe I'll take you on and take your championship. It's like, Cody's like, no bro, I just worked my ass off. You're the guy that fell behind, not me, so don't get into my face. Whereas Punk is saying, dude, I've been there, I'm using my legacy, my history, my experience to say that I know you're getting worn out, and I know you probably need a break, but you want to be the Bruno Sammartino or John Cena, and now I'm going to use what I did before to take advantage of that and become the champion. It's just great. It feels like sports, and it feels like you're watching an actual play or a TV show or a movie. I'm exaggerating there, right? But these are little tropes that I would look for when I'm watching a Netflix show. I can't say that now because Raw is on Netflix, and I just thought they brought that here, and you can pick a side, and you're not picking a side because one person is the hero and one person is a villain. It's because they're telling you how they really feel, and then it's up for you to decide. I mean, I'm kind of torn. Maybe I lean a little bit more towards Cody, but at the same time, I totally understand CM Punk. It's why when they do face off, you can be like, well, I have flabbing no idea. And it's why I think CM Punk should win the Rumble. He has really found his momentum and really found his feet in WWE now. I often get the odd message saying that he has bad matches. I don't agree with that at all. The only one I'd be happy to have a conversation with that on is maybe the SummerSlam match, but I really enjoyed that. Again, you can see my review. But the Drew McIntyre Hell in a Cell was match of the year, especially on the Simon Miller Awards. And if you're competing in the match of the year. And it's not just my awards, it was voted in a lot of different places. I'm not sure you can say his matches are bad, but of course you don't have to like his matches. But what I'm saying is it's not just his promo, and it's not just the way he's approaching these. I just think his WWE run right now is on fire. And depending on what does happen at the Rumble and WrestleMania, you could make the argument this is his best run, even compared to 2011. Because don't forget, some of the work he did in 2011 was game-changing, but WWE then screwed it all up. By the time we got to the summer, different video for a different day. But it was of such high quality, I would tell everyone you've got to go and see it. Love that it was in the main event. Love that they did really maintain their friendship because nobody got punched in the face. They just looked at each other like wrestlers want to do. And it kind of ties into a lot of those promos we got, especially last year, leading into WrestleMania. And maybe we haven't had one of them for a while, but that's good. Sometimes less is more, but just genius work. And I'm totally down for Cody Rhodes versus CM Punk at WrestleMania for the championship. And then maybe you can do Gunther versus John Cena. And then my original prediction comes true, which is Gunther beats John Cena, and then John Cena wins his 17th championship. I still think we're going to do Cody Rhodes versus John Cena because you can't get a bigger match than that as far as I'm concerned. It's like Barney the Dinosaur taking on, I don't know, a Teletubby. That's not topical references at all, but really good stuff, especially because in the opening segment, you also had Gunther and Seth Rollins going at it, so we're kind of teasing, are we going to do something there? And Seth Rollins has refound himself after losing to CM Punk, and now he's going to win the Royal Rumble, and Gunther was like, dude, I don't care about you, you're nothing, and you're on your way down. Did not like Logan Paul interrupting. I understand that Logan Paul is a very talented pro wrestler, given his experience, but because he is Logan Paul, and because he's not a full-time, I don't want to sound like a mega nerd, but I am. I just don't want to see him in that spot because I don't think WWE would ever pull the trigger on this. I don't think he should be beating a Gunther or a Seth Rollins, especially not for a world championship, but it's just the way that I watch wrestling. I totally understand why they're doing it. I don't have an issue because he's a celebrity and he's going to bring more eyes to the product. That's what they're trying to achieve here. I just would have put him in a different role. I quite liked him at that US title level. That's just how I feel about it. I'm not even sure that I could get into a big reasoning as to why, but when his music hit, I got both the fan reaction to, oh, not this guy, and then the real reaction was like, oh no, really? Not this guy. And look, he got tremendous heat. Those boos were incredible. I don't even know what he said. And we also got Gunther turning on a dime being like, I'll take you on at the Royal Rumble, or you should win the Royal Rumble because then I can murder you at WrestleMania. My favorite thing about Gunther, and he said some stuff to Seth as well, he just delivers it as statements of fact, even though it's his opinion. He is totally wonderful. And maybe the embodiment of this heel and face sort of dynamic, because Gunther can be both. It all depends on who he's facing. And you saw that happen here. So when he's going at Seth Rollins, people sided with Seth and like, oh, why are you being mean? And then he's exactly the same amount of mean to Logan Paul, but we don't like Logan Paul, so we babyface Gunther. So again, it's so good, and you can go off in about 42,605 different directions. And Sami Zayn is the other guy that is directly in this, because we had Drew McIntyre versus Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn lost again. That's now 11-0 or 0-11 from Sami Zayn's point of view. So you know that something big is coming. And now you probably could do Drew versus Sami at WrestleMania. If you push that story hard, I think it has the magnitude that you need it to have. But it's the aftermath. Like, he'd apologized to Seth Rollins, because all wrestlers will never text each other. You have to wait until the show. And said, sorry, I kicked you in the face last week. I didn't mean to. And Seth, very understanding, very balanced, said, yeah, that's fine, but maybe don't do it again. Otherwise, people will start not believing you. And then obviously Drew McIntyre cheats to win. How dare he? Everyone gets in a big fight. Cody Rhodes comes out to try and save Sami Zayn. Kevin Owens teleported in from the Starship Enterprise, but eventually we get rid of Kevin Owens. And then Drew attacks Cody. And then when Sami obviously tries to take out Drew moves. Sami Zayn smacks Cody Rhodes right in the face. So Seth Rollins was probably having kittens in the back, and the angle, the camera here was so good because you saw Kevin Owens next to Sam like, thanks a lot, Chief, patted him and he walked off, and this ties into the story that Karrion Kross also added to. Can Sami Zayn decide whether he wants to be a good guy, or does he want opportunities and does he want to win championships? Now, I think you can't turn him heel right now. I don't think people would buy it, so he will be a good guy and he'll win a championship at the same time, but he has to go through the mire. He has to go through the badness first, but tremendous stuff. And then that went right into the Cody CM Punk promo too. So in terms of a latter third or whatever you want to say for Raw, excellent stuff. And given that it was the go-home show for the Rumble, it's got to be so pumped for the Rumble. And why I would pick Punk, My gosh, I'm not sure, because it could be Cena, it could be Roman, it could be Drew, it could be Seth, there'll be other people I haven't mentioned as well. It could be Jey Uso. Jey Uso is so over. He came out with Quavo, man. I felt like I'd taken drugs. Why is Jey Uso coming out with Quavo? But the Rumble's going to be great. I put my predictions up yesterday, so please do check them out. And I suppose the other big news we have to talk about is that J.D. McDonough flubbed me sideways. He did a moonsault to the outside, went crashing into Alan the announce table. I thought he was concussed, but I guess he took all the force on his midsection, broken ribs, and a flipping punctured lung. Now, he tweeted out that he's okay and had only been gone for a couple of months. I mean, I'm a medical guy, you'll be surprised to hear. I would have assumed it was longer, but it's a really difficult thing to talk about because I wrestle, as I'm sure you know. If you don't know, I wrestle on the indie scene. And I have hurt myself in matches and told people, oh no, I'm fine. I just continued. So I do understand the mindset, but I also think you can see someone who was clearly struggling and deep down in your tootsie toes be like, can someone stop this man? I don't care about wrestling right now. I care about that guy's health. Massively respect the fact he was able to have the toughness and the wherewithal to get through it, but I also don't think that's good. I think that's somewhere where we can change. If anybody boos a match for being stopped because we think somebody is hurt, you've got a problem, man. And you need to go and look in the mirror. Even with all that, though, really fun tag team match. And I was glad that the War Raiders did defend their championships. They need more of this, right? Because we didn't do enough with the Judgment Day, and let's go the other way. A-Town Down Under are now on Raw. Let's throw them in there and let's try and heat this thing up. The New Day stuff was interesting too. I like the New Day. Let me recorrect myself. I love the New Day. I think the New Day could be my favorite tag team of all time, or at least one of my favorite groups of all time. I really enjoy the fact they keep getting mugged off by interviewers, and obviously the crowd with Xavier Woods' family actually having t-shirts. Not only does it say New Day suck on them, WWE started selling them. So I guess I meant to presume somebody went, oh yeah, we hate the New Day too. Can we get them made, Steve? Can we get some merchandise made and make some money off our hate? I don't understand why Rey Mysterio is beating both of them. There is no shade on Rey. Genuinely one of the GOATs, one of the best ever. I said this on Ups and Downs too. You can't argue it. You can't argue that Rey Mysterio isn't one of the greatest of all time. Not only has he been going or wrestling within 4 decades, he literally changed wrestling. We would not have the wrestling we have today without Rey Mysterio. But I kind of get this feeling that it was meant to be Penta and Rey taking on the New Day, and for whatever reason we just moved Penta into the singles division, which is totally fine. I suppose at one point it was going to be the Lucha Brothers versus the New Day. But given that hasn't happened, I just think because the New Day had such a good heel turn, they really need to get some wins as a tag team and then win those championships. I thought it was going to be at the Royal Rumble, but we're nowhere near that. So we'll wait and see. And I suppose they were so horrible. If you're a child watching this, and sometimes I think you have to remember wrestling is for kids in one sense, especially WWE. They're probably really happy Rey is kicking these two horrible people's asses, but they were tremendous as always. Kofi and Xavier are on fire. I love Rey Mysterio. And I really like the women's tag team match. Raquel Rodriguez and Liv Morgan defeated Bianca Belair and Naomi, because now when they do the championship match, which they have to do, because if you beat the champions in a non-title match, you deserve a championship match, give it to Liv and Raquel. I think they'd be an awesome team. We do need to repopulate the division, but we can do it. And given the Royal Rumble is around the corner, let Jade Cargill come back in that. She beats up Naomi, who definitely, as far as I'm concerned, I've decided as the detective, smashed her onto a car. That also unleashes Bianca back into the singles division. She was so good in this match. She needs to be fighting for the world championship. And then I think you almost rejuvenate that too. And they did do well with the women's tag team division in 2024. It just needs new teams. But look how many women they have now. You can easily do that. So I was a big fan of that as well. I thought it was really well done. Loads of people declared for the Rumble too. I'm going to forget someone. I can't help it. I find it hilarious that you just go, I'll be in the Rumble, and other people aren't being in the Rumble. The segment that killed me is that Bron Breakker declared and Penta declared and Jey Uso declared. There's probably, Logan Paul declared. But after Lyra Valkyria had declared for the women's Rumble, which was a bit disappointing because we've done nothing with the IC title so far, Chad Gable literally just went, oh, you're going to take on Ivy Nile. He didn't say that, paraphrasing. And Lyra was like, all right. So we set that up when Gable walked off and he bumped into the Alpha Academy, and Otis and Tozawa were doing TikTok dances for Maxine Dupree. They could have just said, oh, by the way, we're in the Royal Rumble, but they didn't. So once again, let's take wrestling on the up and up, and as if it was quote unquote real, they chose to dance as opposed to declare for the Royal Rumble. This is why I love wrestling. It's so funny. It's so wonderful. And I was massively confused with the Roman Reigns stuff. Genuinely. I went back and watched it. On that 6th of January Raw, they definitely say some tribal chief, Ula Fowler ceremony is going to happen on this Raw in Atlanta. And we did announce the video game, and I love the fact that Roman Reigns is on the cover. I'm sure he has been on the cover before in some guys. Wasn't it him and Becky Lynch? But that was during the controversial Roman Reigns Big Dog era. It's so nice to have him as a super duper whooper star on the cover. The Tribal Chief edition or the Bloodline edition is hilarious with his beard, but I do like that artwork. And the back and forth between Paul Heyman and Drew was great. Drew McIntyre using stuff from the Royal Rumble 2020, 5 years ago, to explain to Paul why he's ridden Roman Reigns' coattails for half a decade and made a bunch of money, and now he's on the game. And also, Drew, in one line, summed up all this Royal Rumble stuff because you tell your boy I'm throwing him out the Royal Rumble. And then Paul goes, I'll tell Roman Reigns. Nope, I didn't mean Roman Reigns. I meant CM Punk. So there you go. There's the seeds. We still have the Paul Heyman favor that we need to figure out. So just tremendous stuff. And that Jey Uso entrance as well, I want to make sure I get that across, was absolutely brilliant. But I just kind of feel like we could have done more with Rhea Ripley too. She just did a backstage interview. Although actually, again, it was good stuff because Bayley gets in her face. I'll take a Rhea Ripley-Bayley feud any day of the week. But then Io Sky interrupts Bayley. He's like, see you Saturday. Because, of course, they had beef a year ago too. And now they're kind of on the same side, but not really. So it's baby faces and heels once again talking about their own experiences and the way they feel about people based on what they've done to them. And Bayley thinks Io Sky sucks and Io Sky thinks Bayley sucks. So I thought a really decent episode of Raw. More than decent. Really, really good because it got me pumped for the Rumble. And that's not hard because I'm already excited about the Raw Rumble. But there have been times when I've been pumped and I don't think necessarily WWE has delivered. There's been some awful Raw Rumbles. Whereas this one, I don't think they can fail on either side of the coin. We know that Charlotte Flair's going to be in the women's. We know the men's is fully loaded. And I'm just going to keep saying this because I think I'm going to be right and it'd be nice to get a prediction correct for once. I think the women's one especially is going to be complete fire because in 2026, the Raw Rumble will go for 2 nights. And then you can sell, or you have to come to Saturday and Sunday because look what happened in 2025. You got 2 amazing Rumbles. You don't want to miss out on those moments. So yes, once again, do more with the New Day, do more with Lyra Valkyria. She wasn't even on the show properly last week. But the opening segment, the matches, the end segment especially, that promo off, and everything we're doing with Sami Zayn, I think WWE has done a tremendous job. Like a really tremendous job to the point, even if SmackDown was a bit of a lame duck show, I think you've already got your eggs in a row as I continue to use analogies and metaphors where there is no need. So I'm feeling boyoed. It's not a word, but I'll say it anyway. I'm feeling pumped. I'm feeling excited. And if you were going to ask me, you should definitely watch Raw because maybe we're about to get CM Punk versus Cody Rhodes. Now, of course, please do drop me a comment below and let me know what you thought. Like the video, share the video, and subscribe. My Royal Rumble predictions, bam, are on the screen right now, so give it a click. Otherwise, please do interact with everything in the description down there. If you're into your fitness stuff, it's grillermind.com/Simon. You just go to Simon, get 10% off. It ships worldwide. I wouldn't pimp them out if I didn't believe in them. I'm using them all the time. Had one of their drinks before I came to do this video. On social media, doing loads on the TikTok right now, Simon J. Miller, ProWrestlingTees.com/Simon Miller, and Simon Miller on Cameo if you want a personalized message. I will see you throughout the week. Enjoy the Royal Rumble preamble, and of course, we'll review that at the weekend. Take care, my friends. I love you. Goodbye.